Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and I'm here with another solo playthrough and a mini review. Today I'm looking at the new Red Rains solo co-op expansion mode for Ashes Reborn from Plaid Hat. And a disclaimer that they did send me a review copy of the expansion, but all the rest of the stuff I'm playing with, all the characters and cards and everything, are my own that I purchased. So Ashes Reborn is a competitive sort of Magic the Gathering style game where you construct your own deck and go against other players, but it also has a dice kind of mana system used to power your abilities. And as I said, Red Rains is a new mode that allows both solo play and two-player co-op play against a boss. So I'll do a full solo playthrough and then give you my thoughts on the play of the game so far at the end. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos you cannot see anywhere else. We got a ton of them. You can also check out our separate streaming channel for even more content, listen to our weekly podcast, or join the conversation on our Discord. So the basic idea of Ashes Reborn is that each player has a Phoenixborn, and they have a life value, 15, a number of units they can put out on their battlefield, 6, a number of ready spells they can have in their spell board, 4, and a power they can trigger. And like most of these games, you're going to be playing out units to fight the enemy and to guard you. You're going to be using spells to boost and do other cool effects. All of which is controlled by these dice. Each player has 10. They have different sides that give you more flexibility in using abilities with them. And they have precons for each of the Phoenixborn, and I am using one of those with minor alterations because there's like a little campaign mode where you start with the precons. That's what I'm trying out. But you can also deck construct and combine characters and abilities as much as you like. And as you can imagine, if your Phoenixborn runs out of life first, you lose. But in Red Rains, to win, you have to bring the Chimera to 0 life. Here I'm playing against the only one in this first set, the Corpse of Viros. And I'm playing on the easiest level, standard difficulty, level 1, and they do have a different side if you're playing with 2 players. So I've got to do 30 damage to this Chimera before it does 15 damage to me. It also has a threat value, which is how many units basically it's going to have each round. They use these unique units called aspects. And then it's got an ultimate value. It's going to be building up these Red Rain tokens as it rolls these dice and other things happen. And whenever it gets enough Red Rain tokens, in this case 3, it'll fire off its ultimates, doing damage to all my people. And its behavior card, which a D12 uses to kind of control what special abilities it uses, will advance to level 2 and then level 3, making it tougher and tougher. So the faster we defeat it, the better. Now, I mentioned it has these aspects. Each of them has a 2 or a 1 blood droplet on the back. That's a general indicator of their difficulty and power. And also, whenever I defeat one of these, because they're going to be attacking me and I'm going to be attacking them, and they're going to be guarding the Chimera and all of that, whenever I defeat one of them, it's going to deal as much damage to the Chimera. But you can also just attack him straight up sometimes. There's a lot more to the game, but I think it'll make more sense as we get into the play. So let's go ahead and solo it up. So I start with the first player token on the first turn. That's always how it works in this mode. Then the Chimera will go first in the second round. And first you have the prepare phase. I'm going to roll my dice. I can discard cards and then draw cards back to a hand of 5. Although in Ashes Reborn, you actually get to pick one of each of 5 different cards from your deck as your starting hand. So you can always kind of set up your basic strategy and combos. In my case, I've got 3 units, all 3 of the basic units in my deck. A card that lets me do a combat with one of my units, and a card that lets me give my units more strength for extra damage. Now I'm going to roll my 10 dice. Yeah, this is not a great roll, by the way. Each of the dice, and I've got 2 colors for Cole, has a basic side, which is just the same like little triangle symbol for everybody, a class side, which is a leaf for his natural magic blue dice, and a dagger for his ceremonial magic black dice. And then I didn't roll either of them, but there's also a frog symbol and a sort of like goat's head symbol, which can be used for more effects. And those are going to go with the cost to play cards in the upper right. Like to play the Anchor Knight, I just need 1 basic die, Ironworker 2 basic dice, but to play Strengthen, I need a dagger and a leaf. And unfortunately, to play Close Combat or my Hammer Knight, I need a goat for the Hammer Knight and a frog for Close Combat, which I don't have yet. Although there are ways to mitigate your dice rolls. I'll show you that in a moment. And better dice can be used for lower values. So for example, if I had a frog, I could use it as a leaf or a basic. If I had a goat, I could use it as a knife or a basic. You get the idea. And we're going to skip the rest of the prepare step because I have the 5 cards I want and go right into the turns. So in Ashes Reborn, players take kind of micro turns. So on your turn, you must take a main action, which could be to play a card with like sort of this more complicated circled starburst symbol. You can attack with your units, or you can pass. And then you can also do one side action. So you must do one main action, although that could just be passing, and you may do one side action in either order. Side actions have like this more basic star symbol for their effects on cards and things. You can meditate, which is mitigating your dice, or you can use a dice power that shows that same little basic side action symbol. So this will show you in my hand, like to play out the Hammer Knight, to play out the Anchor Knot, the Ironworker, actually all of these have that complicated circled star symbol, which means it would be my main action for the turn to play out one of these. Whereas Cole's got this slash ability, which is a side action. If he discards one card, he can deal a damage to a unit a player controls, which is a pretty nice ability, to be fair. But after I do that one required main action and possibly one side action, it goes over to the other side and they do the same thing. Although for the Chimera, as you'll see, it's a little bit different. And we go back and forth like that until we both pass consecutively. And then we go to the recovery phase where people heal and some other things happen. Then we go into prepare again and do it all over. So to show my strongest person by far is the Hammer Knight. You'll see later, but they've got these statistics. She's got a pretty sizable attack stat, 3, really good life, 4. She heals 2 at the end of each round if she's not dead. She's got some cool abilities for defense and attacking. Whereas my Anchor Knot costs a single 1, only has 1 life, 1 recovery, 0 attack, but when they come into play, they can deal 1 damage to somebody. That's pretty nice. My Ironworker, 2 attack, 2 life, 1 recover, and he lets me, if he's alive, draw up to 2 extra cards during the draw step, which is nice. Close Combat, which I can't afford yet, lets me pick one of my units and one of theirs and basically have my unit fight them, but at a little bit of a cost. And that, by the way, is a discarded spell. So you have some abilities that are discarded when you play them, which compares to Strengthen, which is a ready spell and goes on my spell board. Basically meaning once I play that, I can use it over and over every round, kind of like my units stay in play. You also have spells that stay in play. So for my first turn, I do want to have some units in case they start coming out swinging. So I'm going to, for my first main action, play my Ironworker for 2 basic dice. And he just goes onto my battlefield. Cole has a battlefield max of 6, so I could not have more than 6 units in play. He does not count himself as a unit. Now let's just do 1 of each basic die. And then I can also do a side action, and I want to, because as I noted earlier, both my Close Combat and my Hammer Knight have advanced symbols I don't have on my dice yet. So one side action you can always take is called Meditating. It's used to improve your dice. And how it works is you can discard cards from your hand, you can discard cards from the top of your deck, you can discard ready spells, and for each one you discard, you get to pick 1 die and change it to any face you want. I'm going to go for my deck in this case because I don't want to lose the things in my hand. The negative to realize, though, is that this is a game where if you deck yourself out, you're going to take automatic damage. You don't ever shuffle your pile, so you go once through your deck and that's it. So I'm losing, 2 copies of cover. Okay. That'll let me change 2 dice, and I'm going to turn this one into a goat and this one into a frog. So now I've got those advanced dice I wanted to be able to play the rest of the cards in my hand. That was a main action and a side action. I'm done. Let me show you how the Chimera's turn works. So on their turn, we're going to refer to this behavior card in a second, but what we do is we roll a d12 and 1 of their same basic symbol as mine, rage dice. They have these 5 rage dice. Let's see what we get. Okay, so if it gets this little red rain symbol, this crystal symbol, then it gets locked into these spots up here. Once they get 5 of those, they all become basic again, and they get 1 red rains token. And for him, remember, he has an ultimate value of 3. Whenever he gets 3 red rains token, he spends them all and permanently levels up. After I resolve that, I'm going to look at the die value, an 11. And that'll go with his current phase card, and I just look at the result. So it'll tell me what side and main actions he does. So first he's going to raise 1 basic rage die 1 level, so he's going to put it on the crystal side. And then he's going to reveal a aspect card. I'll show you how this works. That's kind of like the main thing he does. So he's now 2/5 of the way to getting his first red rain token. And revealing aspect cards. So to explain these a little bit more, again, these are like his units. These are the things he's going to be attacking with, but I can also kill them to hurt him. And he'll only do what I just showed you, rolling 1 of his rage dice and rolling that 12-sided activation die, if at least one of these people is still face down. But once he's revealed them all, he'll attack with them from left to right 1 at a time on his turn. And once all of them are revealed and exhausted, he won't do anything else. He'll just keep on passing. So that's basically what the Chimera tries to do. He tries to flip all these people over, then attack with all of them, and then pass. So he always reveals from left to right. This is a 1 blood droplet. And we get Glare. So first you're going to see that aspects have the exact same stats my people do, except the blood is just a reminder that they deal that much damage when they are killed. They do not have a recover stat, so they don't heal at the end of the turn. And this, by the way, is a shadow aspect. This particular Red Rain set came with 2 different aspect sets. This one is kind of more like tricksy and sneaky, whereas the other one I could have played with is more like kind of a beat stick aggressive one. And you can play with just one, just the other, or mix and match them. And I think the plan is to release more of these. But yeah, so this guy's not too hard. 2 attack, 2 life. He's got this symbol here. This shows his targeting priority when he attacks. If it was a left claw, he would try to attack my leftmost unit. And as I play units, they do have to maintain their order, so they'll go from left to right. If he had a right claw, he would attack my rightmost unit. But this symbol here means that he's going to try to bite my Phoenixborn's face, although I can block with my other units if I want to. And this guy's got an ongoing ability, Glare. The opposing player cannot play action or reaction spells? Eee. So in this case, that would mean I could not play my close combat spell with the one frog I got to have my Ironworker kill that Glare guy for me. That's a bummer. But that's all he does for now. Again, usually the Chimera is going to then reveal this person on his next turn, then this person, then this person. Although some of the roles on their behavior card can like make them attack early and do other things. Oh, and it hasn't come up yet, but you might be wondering if there's like a tapping mechanic like in Magic the Gathering, and there is, but it's called Exhaustion. You actually put these tokens on them, and that means that they don't have like any special abilities once it's on it. So like if, for example, this Glare guy decided to attack early, he would no longer have his Glare power that would be affecting me. It would be like he was blank. And the most common reason you'll exhaust somebody is to have them either block somebody's attack and retaliate back to counterattack, or to have one of your people go and attack the enemies or the Chimera, the boss itself. All right, so what do I want to do? I could have the Ironworker kill the Glare, but that would kill him back because they always strike back. But I'd rather kill the Glare with somebody like the Hammer Knight who can attack without dying herself. So I'm going to go ahead and play her for my main action this turn. Takes out one of the goat heads, 1 leaf, and 1 basic. And I guess I'll use a knife for the basic. Besides having great stats, her abilities, Aftershock. After this unit destroys a unit an opponent controls by attacking, you may deal 1 damage to a target unit. So she can spread the love around. And then Alert, do not place exhaustion tokens on this unit as a result of its countering. So basically, if they attack her, she can counterattack back. Usually that would exhaust them, so they couldn't do anything else. But she can counterattack and like beat somebody up and then still attack later on the turn, which is nice. All right, and side action this turn, I don't think I'm going to use one. Well, actually, you know what? Lies. I'm looking at the cards in my hand. I have 4 more dice I would need. So I've got more than enough, and I would love to use... each of the best abilities has a little special ability it can be used for. So as a side action with the frog, I can deal 1 damage to a target unit, which combined with things like my Anchor Knot might be enough to like kill one of these guys. So yeah, I'm going to discard another card from the top of my deck, just deck myself out to turn another die into a frog and give myself that option. But that's it for my turn. All right, I'm going to roll a basic die and their behavior die again. Got a 1 this time, and if it stays basic, it just comes back down here, so they're not closer to getting a token. And for phase 1, a 1 or 2 is just revealing the next card. Nothing else happens. Although I'll note that many of these aspect cards have nasty things they do as they play. Let's see. Okay, Lurk. So it's going to attack the leftmost person. Ooh, it's got 4 attack. Only 1 life, though. That's good. And 2 blood. Oh, no. Concealed. This unit cannot be targeted by attacks, spells, abilities, or dice powers an opponent controls. So we pretty much have to let him attack us? That's a bummer. Quick Strike. When this unit is attacking, it deals its damage before units in battle with it. Oh my god. That guy is nasty. Now again, the nice thing is, if we let him attack first, then all that stuff will go away, and we can just like attack him for a single point of damage and he'll be dead. But we kind of got to like let him murder. Well, okay, he's going for my Ironworker instead of my Hammer Knight, so that worked out well. But yeah, I don't like that guy at all. All right, so it comes back around to me. Let's go ahead and kill Glare so I can play action spells again. I'm going to play my Anchor Knot as my main action for a single basic. I guess I'll get rid of the knife. And again, he's super weak, but I do get to throw 1 damage at a unit when he comes out. Glare, it has to be you, buddy. And then here's the plan I had for my side action. I'm going to use a frog with natural magic and deal another damage to, in this case, Glare. So he is defeated, which is going to deal 1 damage to the Chimera, 1 blood. 1/30th of the way there. Feeling great. And you always fill in the gaps, so they're the leftmost. Okay, so that was it though, right? Yeah, I did my main action and my side action. I'm done. I have just enough left to play close combat and strengthen if I want to. We'll see how it goes. All right, and once again, they did not get a die, but a 9. Oh, this one is so annoying. Target opposing player must lower 2 non-basic dice, 1 level, then reveal a card. Crud. So I could lower both of these to basic and keep the frog. That way I could still play close combat. And I can't play strengthen unless I get rid of more cards. Well, I'll still do it. All right, so both of these become basic, lowered by 1 level. That's a bummer. Okay, now they're revealing their next 2. Dark Descent. 3 attack, 3 life. Gosh, their guys are strong. 2 blood, Descend 1. When this unit is declared as an attacker, which would not happen for a while because pretty much always, except for some of their behavior rolls, they're going to activate the leftmost person for attacking. When declared as an attacker, place 1 exhaustion token on the opposing player's leftmost unit. If that unit was already exhausted, discard it. Just kill it straight up. And he also goes for my Phoenix-born's face. All right. Well, it's my turn, and this honestly isn't that bad because close combat, coming over here with my frog, lets me choose an unexhausted unit I control. I then deal damage to another unit equal to the chosen unit's attack value. And then I place either a wound token or an exhaustion token on my unit. So I could basically have the Hammer Knight deal 3 damage to one of his dudes, and then either exhaust her or give her 1 damage, and they don't get to retaliate or anything. So yeah, let's get rid of that Dark Descent. So close combat for the frog. Hammer Knight's attacking Dark Descent, so she does 3 damage, which is all he needs. And he's going to deal 2 damage to the boss from his death. There you go, buddy. Eat up. And then I could either exhaust her or deal her 1 damage. She's going to heal 2 at the end of the turn. And I want her to be able to kill some of these other guys. So yeah, I think I'm going to deal the 1 damage to her. And I could discard 2 more cards to turn those into the things I need for Strengthen, which is an ongoing spell that every turn lets me exhaust it as a side action to give one of my units +2 attack value, which is pretty crazy, like with the Anchornauts, making them actually useful. Oh, and a lot of these ready spells will have focus values. This means that there can be up to 3 copies of each card in my deck, and I've got 3 of all of them in the basic deck. If I get 2 other copies of Strengthen in play, then all of them, all 3 of the copies when I use them, will add 3 attack value instead of 2. That probably won't happen, but it's still pretty cool. But yeah, for now, I'm not going to do a minor action. Let's just see what the enemy does. All right, here we go. We got a 2 that's just revealing. That's cool. And another, wow, they're really not rolling those well. It's a 50-50 chance of getting those onto the crystal side. All right, so what do they got? Oh, crud. Oh, crud. Are you kidding me? Another lurk? Oh, it's so bad because... darn it, man. Because I can't, do anything to them. The first one's going to kill my Ironworker. Meh, so what? But the second one's going to kill my Hammer Knight. Oh, well. All right, well, I think I know the best way to handle this. I am going to go ahead and discard 2 more cards from my deck. Lose a Strengthen and a Channel Magic to change both of these back to their best ones. There we go. And then for my main action, I'll play Strengthen out. There we go. Okay, now since all their people are revealed, they don't roll their dice anymore. All they do is leftmost person who is not exhausted attacks. On their next turn, next person that is not exhausted attacks. So, Lurk is attacking my Iron Worker, doing 4 damage. Quick Strike means I don't even get the chance to respond. I'm just dead. That is terrible. But now it's back to my turn, and my Hammer Knight can go ahead and... Ooh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I guess this is okay. I just realized I could have had the Iron Worker attack the boss before... Oh, man. Yeah, well, too late. That would have been smarter. I could have at least done 2 damage on the boss. So the Hammer Knight is going to try to attack the exhausted Lurk. Its abilities don't apply anymore. It can now be attacked. It can't retaliate when it's exhausted. But the one potentially bad thing is you do roll when they don't have... So there are defender units that'll block for other units. But the Chimera can also block my attacks if it wants to. So I'm going to roll, and on a 9, 10, 11, or 12, it will block... No, okay, thank God. So my Hammer Knight does kill the Lurk, which is going to do 2 more damage to the Chimera. So we're at 5 out of 30. Nice. And then unfortunately, her Aftershock ability to deal 1 damage to a target unit is useless because can't target the Lurk until it kills her. Oh, that's my best unit. That is a bummer. That's going to really mess me up for the coming turns, I think. But to finish things up, I've got 1 more trick up my sleeve. Let's Strengthen, add 2 attack to my Anchornaut, and have them attack the now vulnerable Lurk. Hopefully the boss won't block. Nope, a 1. So the Lurk is dead and 2 more damage on the boss. Yay! So I came out slightly ahead here. Now the Chimera, having nobody to attack, is going to pass. I have no dice left and no cards, so I'm also going to pass. And that'll be the end of the round. So we go into the recovery phase. First, everyone recovers up to the recovery value. My Hammer Knight, for example, would have healed up to 2 if she was alive, but she's not. Okay, then we remove 1 exhaustion token from everybody. There are some ways to get multiple exhaustion tokens on something, so it'll take multiple turns to be usable again. And then this one's a big one. If any aspect cards were left in play, for each one, the boss would automatically get one of those red rain tokens. That's an entire token, not just a die. So that's like the equivalent of them getting all 5 of these dice, and they need 3 of those to do their ultimate. So that's why it's great I was able to kill all 4 of those guys instead of letting them hang out. Okay, and then the boss is going to put out 4 new friends with their threat value of 4, and you just go from the top of the deck from left to right. At the bottom of the deck, there's a fatigued card, kind of representing them decking themselves out where they won't be able to do very much. That's only if we survive that long. And that's one round. Now we go back into the prepare phase. And once again, oh my gosh, still no frogs or goat faces. I'm not rolling well. All right, then I'm going to draw up to a hand of 5. See, I got, 2 anchor nuts. That's both terrible and good. Okay, another hammer knight and another close combat. I like that, although I don't have any of the stuff to actually play them. Enchanted Revenge is another ready spell. Basically, whenever one of my units dies, I get to put a token on this, and then I can exhaust it as a side action and deal 1 damage to the boss automatically. So it's a nice little extra thing, certainly not like a must-play card right away. And with that, we're ready to start round 2 proper, but the first player token switches, so now the Chimera's up. And let's see what nastiness they want to get into. They did get a gem this time, and they got an 8. That's one of the ones that lowers my dice, 2 of them, and then reveal somebody. Well, that's not too tough. We'll just take these 2 here and make them basic. Definitely going to have to discard some cards, I think, to make my dice better. And then reveal on the leftmost, another Dark Descent. Okay, so that's right. When they attack, they exhaust people, and they have 3 life. So a little bit too strong for my Anchor Knot boosted with strength and to kill by themselves. All right, so now it's my turn. For my side action, I am going to go ahead and trash 2 more cards. Channel Magic. 100 Blades is a really nice one for dealing damage. And actually, 100 Blades would be the best against those guys I have because it deals 1 damage to all opponents' units. It does not matter for targeting, so the lurks would not be able to hide from it. I didn't know they were in this deck. I've only been playing the aggressive ones, so it goes. But that's enough to change 2 of these into the best result. And now with some of those, I'm going to play out my Hammer Knight. So that's the goat and a leaf and a basic. All right, so ready to inflict some pain again. Let's see if it goes better this time. All right. What do we get? 5 and a basic side. A 5 is interesting. You reveal the next unit, and then you immediately attack with it. That's not going to go very well for my Anchor Knot, probably. Actually, hey, I shouldn't assume. They could go for the Hammer Knight. Let's see. There's a new one, Constrict. Constrict. When this unit comes into play, the target opposing player must place 1 exhaustion token on a card they control. Well, a card I control. Let's do the Anchor Knot, right? Bye. Okay, then this one is a defender, which means it will block for other aspects and for the Chimera also if I attack it. 2 attack, 4 life, 2 blood. Okay. Oh, and he's immediately attacking the rightmost, which is my Hammer Knight. So she does not have to, with her alert ability, exhaust to attack back. She's taking 2 of her 4 damage. I can handle that. She's dealing 3 back. Heck yeah. And that guy's exhausted, although I don't think it's going to matter much. I think I'm just going to bring out an Anchor Knot and kill him in a second. Well, actually, hold on. I can do even better than that. Yeah. I'm going to play Close Combat with my Hammer Knight. Remember, that was the frog. And that'll have her deal 3 damage to the Dark Descent. I can choose to exhaust or damage my Hammer Knight. There's a little bit chancy here, but I'm going to do that. And then I will go and kill the Dark Descent. Oh, darn it. I thought Aftershock would finish off the Constrict as well, but she's not killing this guy with an attack. She's killing with an effect, so it doesn't trigger. But I'm still doing 2 damage to the boss. And I could do a side action, but I think I'm pretty okay with where I am, so I'll stop there. All right, what you got for me? Okay, another crystal, and then a 3. Oh, they attack with somebody if able, and if not, they reveal. So that's different than 5, where they reveal somebody and then immediately attack with them. Here, they attack if they can. This makes me really glad I killed that Dark Descent when I did, because they can't. So they're just going to reveal this person. That's another glare where I can't play actions or reaction spells. But I can just attack that dude with, for example, an Anchor Knot. Yeah. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to play an Anchor Knot for a single basic die. Deals 1 damage when he comes out. By Constrict, you're dead. And the 2 blood gets me to 11 out of 30. Not bad. And then next turn, assuming nobody murders them, I'm going to have the Anchor Knot be strengthened and kill the glare. Get killed in return, but that's definitely a good trade. But let's see what they do first. Okay, they did get a crystal. We resolved that first. So they immediately, since they have 5, turn all these back to their basic side. And they get their first of 3 red range tokens to trigger their thing. Okay, and then 5. Oh no, that's the one where they reveal and then attack immediately. Darn it. That's unlikely to go well for me. Let's see. Oh, it's another glare. So he's going to attack Cole for 2 damage. Now, when your Phoenixborn gets attacked, you can block with anybody, and then you have to exhaust them, and they get the counter. But now I'll just let him do it. It's fine. So it does mean that next turn, the other glare is going to attack if I can't do something about it. Can I do something about it? Oh, yes, I can. Yeah. Oh, ooh, no, I can't. I thought I could with like some trickery with the hammer knight, but no, it won't work. Oh, here's what I'll do instead. I just realized the Chant of Revenge is a side action to play. So I'll go ahead and play both of these, a basic and a knife. That'll give me the Chant of Revenge in play and another Anchor Knot, who's going to do 1 damage to this glare. And then on their turn, they're coming for my face again, and I will let them. I mean, all these Anchor Knots aren't really doing much for me, are they? Yeah, you know what? Whatever. Let's block with the Anchor Knot and get killed. I'd rather that than my boss take 2 more damage. And all right, now that means that I have free reign, and I am happy to have it. Man, I have all these dice I didn't use, though. That's kind of a bummer. So I could attack the Phoenixborn directly, but I'm going to try not to, although they might block me anyway. I'm going to have the Hammer Knight attack the undamaged glare. Hope that the Chimera does not get a 9 to stop me. Nope. She does 3 damage and does not get retaliate because he's exhausted. That's enough. And then now her Aftershock does work. 1 damage to somebody else. Each of these was 1 life. That's 2 to the boss. Oh, I forgot. Chant of Resistance got a token, didn't it? For my 1 Anchor not dying. Even more reason to let him die. So then on this turn, next turn, I'm going to strengthen my Anchor Knot and have them attack the boss for 2 damage with the boost. Yeah, now we're going 15. Let's go. And then finally, on the turn I pass, you can still do a side action. So I'll do Chant of Revenge. I just exhaust this and remove the token. It can only have 1 at a time, by the way. Do 1 more damage to the boss. So yeah, this is on the easiest difficulty setting. Don't forget that. Absolutely easiest. So the fact that he's half dead and I'm doing great doesn't mean the game is unbalanced. It's just how I'm playing. And now we do both pass. All right, cool. My Hammer Knight. Gonna heal. Love that. All the exhaustion comes away. They don't get any free Red Reigns tokens from people being alive, but they do get to put out a lot of 1s this time. And I could choose to exhaust any of these dice that I want to, or I could choose to keep them to roll them. I'm going to exhaust them because I want to try to get those highest values. And I'll be first player again. That should be fun. All right, let's see. Do I finally get... What is going on? I promise you, I roll this a lot. I mean, what is it? 1 face out of 6? Oh, it is only 1 face out of 6. Okay. Well, at least this time I got 4 leaves instead of 3, so slightly better. I mean, depending on the cards I draw, it might not matter, but it's always nice to be able to, like, use the frogs to deal damage. Or I haven't shown you this. This one's pretty great. For one of the goat heads, I can get an ally from my discard pile and put it back in my hand at the low cost of 1 damage to my Phoenixborn, so I could get, like, another Hammer Knight back? Come on. Anyway, let's draw my 5. Yikes. That's not many turns left, Mike. I've been burning the midnight oil. What have we got? Another close combat. Love that. Ooh, 100 blades. If another lurk comes out, I'll kill them all. I think there's only 3 of each type, so that's not too likely. A Chant of Revenge again. Ooh, Summon Iron Rhino. Not a bad one for the situation. So this is another ready spell. A lot of the Phoenixborn have these in their basic decks. And these have what's called a Conjuration. In this case, for 6 basic mana, I can, as an action, place an Iron Rhino Conjuration onto the battlefield. This is like a card that's always over to the side. It never gets shuffled into your deck. It's an automatic thing. So the Iron Rhino is a 7 attack. 7 attack, everybody. Think how the boss would feel about that. 4 life. He's gigantic, so it's harder to block or guard against him. And if he kills a monster while attacking, he also does 2 damage to the boss automatically. That's pretty great. And the cool thing is you can keep on summoning them over and over again through your ready summoning spell. And if you get a second or a third one in play, the cost even decreases. So yeah, you know, that's not a bad thing to get. The close combat will be useful, although I don't have any frogs to use it with. Thanks, game. Chant of Revenge. I mean, I guess that's potentially useful. 100 blades is great. Oh, and Channel Magic is an interesting one. This is actually not in Cole's basic deck, but it comes with the Red Reigns expansion. And they say if you want to, you can take out 3 cards from your deck and replace these when you're playing in like the little campaign mode where you use one of the starting decks, which is perfect when you have like a card that's not very good in this game mode. So it lets me draw a card, remove 1 wound from a target Phoenixborn. That's cool. Ooh, and raise 3 dice in my active pool 1 level. That's way better than I thought, although it does use up a die. But how many dice do I need? If I wanted to do getting the Summon Rhino out and actually summoning them, that's 7 dice total. 8, 9. If I don't do that, I could do 1 plus 6 is 7. 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, so not either way, I can't possibly play all of these. So maybe I will use the Channel Magic early and like not do 100 blades. In fact, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So for my first main action, I'm going to spend 1 basic die. I get to heal my Phoenixborn 1. I get to draw a card. I forgot about that. I don't have enough for another Hammer Knight. Well, maybe I'll find the money somehow. I don't need to bring out the Rhino. Then I can raise 3 dice up. So Hammer Knight once, There we go. And then I want a frog for my attack one. And then I think another frog would probably be good. Sure. Now, those are my main action. For my side action, why now? Let's go ahead and play Chant of Revenge for one of these extra knives. So now when one of my guys dies, I'll get a token on each of them, and then I can do 2 damage to the boss. Seems pretty good. Speaking of boss boy over here, oh, a 10. Raise 1 rage die, and then reveal. So it's not too terrible. A straight up 12 just gives them a red raid automatically. All right, who you got this time for me? Ooh, a new one. Regenerate. Only 2 attack, 1 life, blood 1. Regenerate. When this unit is destroyed, re-roll a basic rage die. Okay, if a basic result is rolled, place this unit face up onto the right side of the Chimera's battlefield. Oh, but it's exhausted at least. That's not too bad. So it could come back and be annoying again. And since I'm rolling a rage die, if it gets the crystal result, I get closer to getting another red rain. So that's really not too bad. In fact, yeah, my 100 blades, which does 1 damage to the boss and 1 damage to every enemy, would just smash that. So let's let that guy ride for a little bit. And although I guess if he attacks, he would kill my Anchornaut. I barely care about that. That would actually just power up my Chant of Revenge. Although if I put out Hammer Knight, then she'd be the rightmost person. Now I do want to note that if you pass, because I might not want to do anything yet here, while they have any face down cards, then you raise one of their dice up 1 level automatically. So I'd rather not do that. Let's do something innocuous. I'll bring out the Summon Rhino card, but with no intention, I don't think, of actually using it anytime soon. Because again, 6 dice, a little bit too much when I could just get out a Hammer Knight and then blade everybody. Let's see what they do. Give me somebody cool to attack. Ooh, they got a 12. Like I just said, that means that now, once they get both of these, they're going to do their ultimate, which hits every one of my units for 1. That would be pretty devastating right now with all the Anchornauts there. Then they're also going to reveal somebody. Let's see, who is it? Storm Call. Okay, so this is a status effect. This cannot be ignored, so even while they're exhausted, it'll still trigger. These 2 little dots means it gets 2 tokens on it. What's it got? Only 1 attack, 2 life. Storm Call. At the start of the Chimera's turn, remove 1 status token from this unit to deal 1 damage to the opposing player's target Phoenixborn. Then if that was the last status token on this unit, place 1 red rain token on the Chimera. So the first time he does that at the start of the turn isn't that big of a deal. Second time he does it would be pretty bad. And these will refresh if the person stays alive at the start of each round. So you don't want to do that. All right, so I don't mind letting him roll for 1 turn. I don't want to let it go twice, though. Although I could just use Strengthen and an Anchornaut to kill him right now and take away the entire worry. Yeah, okay. So do that for my side action. Regenerate's going to kill that Anchornaut, or would attack the Hammer Knight. Let's leave that guy to block for her. Attack with this one. So he's got 2 attack, only 1 life, which means they kill each other, and we do 1 automatic damage to the boss. And that is going to give both of my Chant of Revenge tokens. Now they can't hold another one, so I want to use those before anybody else dies. Speaking of dying, oh crud. Okay, so he's about to do his ultimate. A 7, I have to lower 2 basic dice. That shouldn't be a problem at all. And then I reveal somebody. Let's see. For the Hammer Knight, I need a leaf and a goat. For the close combat, I need that. Nothing needs a knife. So let's go and lower that one. And then unfortunately, I do have to lower one of my frogs, I guess, instead of dealing the damage with it. And who do they have now? Another lurk! Ooh, this is so perfect. This is so perfect. I'm not even gonna wait for anything to happen. I'm gonna do a 100 blades. So this Cole's unique spell. That's why his picture's here. Only he can use it. So it's gonna cost me 2 basic. Bye. Deal 1 damage to a target Phoenixborn. Deal 1 damage to all that opponent's units. Jeez, I forgot I drew a card with it. Wow. So it's 1 damage to the Chimera. He's at 18. Then Regenerate is kind of dead. I just realized, though. Okay, he's not dead. He goes to the right, but at least he didn't ultimate us yet. But here's a big one. Lurk is dead because it ignores his little annoying ability. So this guy's at, boom, 20 life. That's right, I'm drawing a card. Now there's Summon Rhino, which would make it cheaper. I might be able to afford that. We'll see what happens. But for now, for my side action, I'm going to use one of my 2 Chants of Revenge. It does exhaust it, even if it gets another token, and he's at 21 life. And I should say I haven't done it yet, but you can attack the boss directly. So my Hammer Knight could just go to his face right now and try to finish him off. All right, now let's see what happens. Wow, they still didn't get it. And all right, they attack if they can with somebody, which is going to be the Regenerate. Oh, no, it's not, because I forgot. He gets an exhaust when he heals. So they're just going to reveal their last person. Another Regenerate. Oh, man. The bummer about that is, there's a lot of bummers, but I was thinking like, yay, they don't have any other characters or anything. So I could have like not had to worry about this ever triggering, but now it could. Well, with that in mind, let's not bring out anybody else. Let's just have the Hammer Knight attack the Regenerate. Hope the boss doesn't block for him. 9, 10, 11, or 12. No! So she doesn't hit the Regenerate, which would have done her 1 Aftershock damage to the other Regenerate. Darn it. Although silver linings, she does have the boss to 24 life. That's a lot of damage. All right, well, that was a bummer. I'll go and exhaust my other Chant of Revenge to get him to 25 damage. 5 more and he's done. But before that can happen, this Regenerate is attacking. Now that means that they won't regenerate anymore, so that's good at least. Dealing 2 damage to my rightmost, my Anchornaut. I can block with Coal if I want to. You know what? Sure. So you rotate them 90 degrees because they can only do it once per turn, although the Chimera can do it as many times as they roll at 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll take the 2 damage. Now, neither of these guys has Regenerate anymore because their abilities are all ignored. So that's a beautiful thing. Because who's coming to play? You didn't forget about her, did you? Goat and a leaf and a basic. Boom. All right. All right, and they skip. So let's have her. I guess you could just kill the boss. That's not fun, though. We're going to kill the Regenerate, or we're going to attack the Regenerate. So, let's see if he blocks for him again. Blocking. Nope. So she'll kill the one, and then her Aftershock will kill the other, and that's 2 damage on the boss. It's a 27. I think this is just about over, folks. Oh, geez, what do I do to finish out my hand? I guess I'll summon the other Iron Rhino. So now it costs 5 to use it instead of 6. That was that. And then I do have close combat. I do have a frog. Let's just save that for next turn. So at the end of the turn, my Hammer Knight heals. Everybody is unexhausted. They once again get no free red rains, but they are probably going to do their ultimate right before the game ends. So I'm keeping my frog, and we're just going to roll these natural because otherwise my stuff has been terrible. Hey, there we go. Look at that. 2 more frogs when I roll by hand, but still no good. That was pretty good, though. And I'm keeping my close combat. You can discard cards. Oh my gosh, look how low my deck is. Got another Ironworker, another 100 Blades, my 3rd Iron Rhino, which would make it 4 to summon them each time, and a Chant of Revenge. Cool. But it's an even round, so they are first. Are they going to do their ultimate? Seems kind of likely, right? Yep, there it is. Okay, so before we resolve their actual activation with the 2, all these become basic again. They get their 3rd Red Rain, and they immediately interrupt everything to do their ultimate because they have 3 and they discard all of these. And for this Chimera, yeah, so they remove Red Rain. We already did that. They discard all cards that the Chimera does not own on their battlefield, like if we were filling it up with annoying things. They deal 1 damage to all units and Phoenixborn of the opponent's control, and then they remove the top behavior card. So now their behaviors are going to be more powerful for the rest of the game. Now that the game is going to be much longer, but they should feel good about that. Look at this sadness. 1, 1, 1, and no, Anchornaut! Although his sacrifice will not go unnoticed because we are chanting some revenge. And hey, we didn't see the new behavior. We rolled a 2, which would have just been a reveal on the previous card, but now it's going to be an attack if able, or if not reveal. Now they don't have anybody to attack, so it's still just a reveal. But yeah, these get a little bit stronger in activity in general, so they do tend to ramp up. But here we're just revealing somebody. It's another Storm Call. But you know what, Storm Call? I say no, because only defender units can stop me from just attacking the Chimera directly. So let's do a little bit of... You can attack with as many units as you want when you attack the boss. And if they had defenders, they would kind of pair up left to right. So I'm doing 3 attack, 6 attack. Hey, what the hey? Is my side action, let's strengthen, make it 8 attack. I don't even need all those pretty frogs I rolled. So that'll do, that gets him to 35. We immediately win the game. Yay! Mike was able to defeat the easiest version of the boss. Because as you can see, it gets a lot nastier. Even at level 2, they have 5 units every turn instead of 4. That's a big difference, just to make sure. And then at level 3, you have 6 units every turn. And wait, you can play on Heroic, where Heroic level 1, they would have 5 more life. That one wasn't necessarily a problem. And again, 5 units, 6 units, 7 units. And then, wow, what if you get into more players? That can get even crazier with the 2-player mode. And by the way, how the little kind of campaign mode works is you play 3 games in a row. Because I beat standard level 1, I would then go on to standard level 2 with 5 guys a turn. And I would still keep Cole's same basic deck, but I could upgrade it with, I think it's up to 9 new cards from other starter decks. So it's a nice way if you don't want to like go into the full deck construction mode to just like kind of customize and boost up your deck in more minor ways. All right, so let's get into the mechanics and what I think about the game so far from playing it some. So first of all, I just want to note that there is a luck element. As you saw, sometimes the dice don't go your way and sometimes they do. Although it's very easy with just discarding some cards from your deck or hand to mitigate that and get the exact values you want. Now, that is costing you something, so bad luck is still bad luck, but it's not that bad. And similarly, you do have, of course, card draw luck, but I really like the fact that the game lets you start with the exact 5 cards you want. So there's none of like that bad first turn shenanigans you get in a lot of games like this. You will always have the exact like core combo you need for your deck, and then you can go from there. So the luck on your side isn't too bad. Where the luck does have the potential to rear its head a bit more is with the Chimera's behavior. I don't mind it too much. I think, especially like having them sometimes attack early or wait until all their guys are flipped to attack, does give some nice variance and like kind of the play experience and give you some unpredictability in what they're going to do to you. The only one that feels maybe kind of unfair is when they roll like a nat 12 and just get a free extra Raid Rain token for nothing, which is, very much accelerates their game and gets them to the nastier behavior faster, lets them do ultimate and kill all your guys. So yeah, this die might be a little bit too swingy for some players. I find generally it adds some nice variety to the experience and a little bit of, again, that unpredictability, so it feels a bit more like a real player doing stuff to you, but your results may vary. I don't think everyone's going to love that. But back to the core gameplay, I do like Ash's feeling of powering up. I would say it's a stronger feeling of powering up than a lot of these types of games. Because, your mana doesn't change, right? You're always going to have 10 dice a turn. So you can't get mana screwed like in games like Magic, where you just don't have the money to pay for things. And that's also not where the ramp up is. What the more interesting ramp up is in like these ready cards and how you get like more consistent, cool support powers going on every turn, generally, often that don't cost very much, or like the ability to keep on summoning units. And then, of course, like building up your battlefield, although if they kill them all, that won't happen. So yeah, I really like this ready mechanic. I think it's just kind of like a cool way for you to feel like your combos become more consistent. You get more like ongoing bonuses. Your powers kind of rear their head. I also think the turn-to-turn choices in the game are really interesting, especially with the back and forth and like knowing that the enemy is going to come in and attack pretty consistently. You can really like carefully plan how you're going to use your abilities, how you're going to spend your mana, having like the ability to spend the best results on the dice for even other cool abilities. And I didn't use it at all, but, my Cole guy could discard cards to slash people for 1 damage. There's just a lot of neat choices in the game. And it's not like your hand ever plays itself, I would say. Like, you always have choices every turn. It gets kind of crunchy. And this is like a basic deck. You can build way more interesting and stronger things than what I was playing with here. And that can be a lot of the fun. Like, if you like deck construction, this is awesome. I think you'll really love this. In the sets I bought and traded for, I have like 14 of these characters with 14 unique decks. So if I wanted to do deck construction, it would be crazy. But even if I don't, the fact that they like have a play mode where you just use the basic decks, like I could just throw down Odette here or Maoni Viper and like have a very different play experience because the combos and the strategies are very different with these people. And then again, I could play through the campaign mode and just add in a few cards after each game if I don't want to do the deck construction. So I think they did a nice job here of making the starter decks viable if you're like me and deck construction often isn't your favorite thing. But if you want to, like, just build, your craziest deck possible, then more power to you. Jump right to heroic level 3 where you'll have 7 dudes every turn and 35 life. and good luck if you win. That's great for you. Now, just to speak a bit more about the enemy, I do think, like, the aspects work well. I like the fact that you can, like, switch out different aspect decks. And it like drastically changes the things you're facing off against. And you can even shuffle the 2 together and have like a variety of enemies to face. Now, the bummer with this basic set is that you only get the 1 basic Chimera, although you do have different difficulty settings. You only get the 1 set of ultimates and behaviors. You only get 2 different aspect groups to go between. Don't get me wrong, I still think there's a lot of cool stuff here, and the set does come with like some player cards as well to customize your decks further, and I think you can even play this out of the box. Yeah, they said that like all the cards in here do make up a viable deck, so you could just buy this and no, I guess you couldn't buy this and nothing else because they don't have like the dice or anything in here, so never mind what I just said. But they do give you, it seems like a pretty good value, but also I do hope that this does well and they can release more of these aspects because, I mean, already the game has tons of variability in terms of what you do, but right now the enemy is going to be somewhat same each time you play. Now, one complaint I have about how the Chimeras work is that every single one of their units is just a unit. And there are a lot, well, not a lot, but there are a pretty good number of abilities in some of the decks that like only affect, spells they have played or only affect like other things that the Chimera does not have. So there are certainly some dead cards in the sets. Now, like I said, you have like some automatic customization options. So, if you want to like kind of mess around with things. But I do think just kind of skimming through even like the characters that I have, the Phoenixborn that I have, some of them just like aren't going to be viable in this mode. It's a very small number. It was like maybe like 2 out of 14. But it is something to be aware of. Like, since they don't model everything that a player has, some effects and cards like aren't going to be very useful, and you'll want to take those out of your deck and put something else in. And finally, I will admit that I've not played 2-player yet because this is a little bit more complicated than I think my sons would want to get with, and I haven't had a chance to play it with Peter or one of my regular gaming group yet. But it seems like the core mechanics work well, and from what I understand, like you can attack their, like you each have your own row of enemies, but you can attack their row and they can attack yours, which seems like it would work fine. So I think it should be like a pretty cool little puzzle of tactically helping each other out while dealing with your own stuff. But again, I have not tried it, so I can't comment. All right, so I hope that was helpful for those of you interested in Ashes Reborn, just for competitive play, or if you do want to track down this Red Rains expansion set with solo co-op. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.